To conduct a document review utilizing the Product Release Program under the SQF Module 2.4.7, first check if the document title matches the uploaded file name on the dashboard. In this instance, we do have the same titles as the Product Release Program. Next, both must have the same document code. For this example, we do have 2.4.7P0. Since this is a template, we indicate the PCQI as the account initials. However, we can customize the code based on the company's initials. For the page number, we use the page X of Y format. Ensure that it reflects the current page position and the total page number of the document. Then insert the company logo here, together with the company name, the company address, and enter the designated department. For the originated by section, it can be the food safety, quality assurance, or the quality control personnel of the company. The originator ensures the implementation of the quality management and document control system. Enter the name of the originator, affix the signature, input the position title, and the date originated. For the reviewed by section, it can be the personnel assigned in the Quality Management Department who reviews the drafted document or its revision for accuracy and implementation. Enter the name of the reviewer, affix the signature, input the position title, and the date reviewed. For the approved by section, it must be the person in the C-level management who has approval authority. First, enter the name of the approver, affix the signature, input the position title, and the date approved. The revision date is the same as the date originated or drafted by the author. For the effective date, it is the date the document was signed and approved. The publication date is when the document is published for distribution and initiated personnel training. The implementation date is when the document is distributed and personnel training is completed. For the supersedes, put original for the initial issuance of the document. For any revisions, reflect the initial revision date before the current revision. Please be reminded that this section must be properly filled out to be compliant. Now we will focus on the components of the program. First is purpose. The purpose is the implementation of any certification standard or compliance with a regulatory requirement. For this program, it is for implementation with the SQF Module 2 Edition 9 for food manufacturing under Clause 2.4.7. To implement SQF 2.4.7.1, the responsibility and methods for releasing products shall be documented and implemented. The methods applied shall ensure the product is released 1. By authorized personnel, and 2. Once all inspections and analyses are successfully completed and documented to verify legislative and other established food safety controls have been met. Records of all product release shall be maintained. To implement SQF 2.4.7.2, product release shall include a procedure to confirm that product labels comply with the food legislation that applies in the country of manufacture and the countries of use or sale if known. If product is packaged and distributed in bulk or unlabeled, product information shall be made available to inform customers and/or consumers of the requirements for its safe use. And to implement SQF 2.4.7.3, in the event that the site uses positive release based on product pathogen or chemical testing, a procedure shall be in place to ensure that product is not released until acceptable results have been received. In the event that off-site or contract warehouses are used, this requirement shall be effectively communicated and verified as being followed. Second, scope. The scope of the program is based on the purpose and serves as a guide in defining and describing the layout of the procedure. It includes responsibilities, manufacturer responsibilities, products release monitoring record, and frequency. Next to scope is policy. The policies are the rules set by the company as their implementation guide. 1. A product release program ensures that only compliant products are released to the market. 2. A procedure outlines the responsibility and protocols for the release of products and effectively implements the procedure. And 3. Product release also applies to the procedures for releasing quarantined or held products. Now let's proceed to the fourth component of the program, which is procedure. The procedure is the step-by-step process and the actual implementation of the policy. Under procedure is company name responsibilities. The company must ensure that all products are confirmed as compliant before releasing to the market. The company must prepare a procedure outlining the responsibility and protocols for the release of products and effectively implement it. At a minimum, the procedure shall include the following: outlined in-process checks used to determine compliance with specific requirements, including testing frequency and sample size based on product safety risk and historical supply, which you may refer to 2.5.6 Product Sampling, Inspection, and Analysis, 2.6.1 Product Identification, and 2.6.2 Product Trace. Outlined in-process checks used to determine compliance with specific requirements, including testing frequency and sample size based on product safety risk and historical supply, which you may refer to 2.5.6 Product Sampling, Inspection, and Analysis, 2.6.1 Product Identification, and 2.6.2 Product Trace. Next, all personnel responsible for collecting samples and carrying out inspections or ensuring that inspections are carried out and the methods for doing so, including those authorized to release the products, shall be identified and aware of their responsibilities. And in case of out of specifications, the company must also outline the procedure for releasing quarantine or hold status products. In all cases, the company shall identify those staff positions responsible for releasing products and indicate the action they will take when results are outside specification, including reference to other procedures for holding, reworking, or disposing of the product. All products under quarantine or hold status are released by authorized personnel only after the product has successfully passed inspection. Next, all products released for distribution must have records maintained. These records should record the product name and identification, release date, confirmation of product checks, authorized personnel who released the product, and the product disposition. Products released from hold must also be recorded. Records must include the amount of product held and the reason for the hold. Records should be reviewed routinely to ensure that holds are closed out. Any product that is still on hold must be physically or visually verifiable. And records of all product release shall be maintained. Next, under procedure is the manufacturer responsibilities. The compliance team of the manufacturer shall identify responsible personnel for checking available records and or certificates of products for release to the market, indicating their compliance to established parameters, and the visual inspection of products showing the integrity of the packaging. At a minimum, the assigned person responsible for checking shall verify if certificate of analysis or any records of analysis provided by the company has been signed by authorized personnel and is compliant to necessary final testing parameters. Details of the certificate must match that of the products being released. And the finished product has a proper label and no ripped or torn portion of the packaging. Next, the product shall not be released until all procedures and records are completed. Products produced under mandatory regulatory HACCP programs shall have an authorized, signed release, verifying that all HACCP records are completed and properly signed. There are no CCP deficiencies before shipment. And maintain product release records. Third, under procedure is the product's release monitoring record. 1. All the finished product details are included on the monitoring record for the following information: the finished product name, the product code, the brand name, the manufacturing date, batch and lot number, the expiration date, product description, and label reference. 2. The documents and forms will be attached with the finished product release monitoring form. 3. Verification result for raw material ingredients will be checked with the same ingredients used in the finished products. 4th, verification result for packaging materials will also be required for the packaging used in the finished products. 5th, the ingredient register with allergen will also be checked, and the monitor will reflect the label in the packaging materials used. 6th, evaluating organoleptic qualities by assessing the flavor, odor, appearance, and mouthfeel of a food product is essential in ensuring products comply with organizational and customer requirements. 7th, certificate of analysis for raw materials, ingredients, and packaging materials from in-house or third-party laboratory will also provide for the release of finished products. 8th, material safety data sheet for the raw materials, ingredients, and packaging materials used in the finished products will also attached with the monitoring record. 9th, storage and monitoring records will be submitted from the warehouse personnel, including the storage conditions of the raw materials, the aging of the raw materials used, and the request of raw materials from the production. 10th, the company production record will also be checked and monitored for the release of finished products. The following documents needed are the batching and mixing records and the packaging production records. 11th, all the documents from quality control will also be checked for the release of the finished products to ensure the standards and quality of the products. The finished products will also meet the finished product specification as well as the compliance for the regulatory requirements and the customer requirements before it released to consumer or consignee. 12. The compliance of the finished products for food safety and HACCP will also be seen in the specification of the finished product. 13th, the following documents from Quality Department will also be checked. These are the following: finished products specification, method validation for test method and result, food allergen declaration for labeling records, food allergen testing method and verification, the packaging material leak test report, finished products release monitoring record, finished products packaging monitoring record, followed by storage condition, corrective action report, certificate of analysis, and pathogen testing result. And corrective action report for the finished products will also be checked and attached with the monitoring records. And lastly, under procedure is frequency. First is the frequency submission of certificate of analysis, and second is the frequency submission of pathogen testing. The fifth component of the program is responsibility. The responsibility of the person is indicated. It covers what to perform to comply with the procedure or the policy. For all personnel, shall adhere to this policy. For the PCQI or the Preventative Control Qualified Individual, visually inspect areas for compliance with this policy. Oversee compliance of procedure. Ensure personnel are trained on this policy and procedures. And monitor and take corrective action to ensure compliance with this policy. The supervisors or department heads and team leaders are responsible to ensure and verify this policy and procedure is adhered to, and take corrective action to ensure compliance with this policy. For the quality department or compliance department, validate training and adherence to policy and procedure. Monitor and document nonconformance observation, also known as discrepancy, using corrective action, preventive action, or the CAPA report. Responsible for identifying, tagging, and placing on hold and disposing of nonconforming work-in-progress materials per approved procedures. responsible for hold tagging, and document control, records, and archive. Lastly, for the quality manager, responsible for the disposition of held non-conforming products, whether to release, discard, or rework the products. Next is corrective actions. The corrective action is the process of taking appropriate steps to eliminate causes of nonconformities or other undesirable situations. 1. Train all personnel on this policy and reference SSOPs. And 2. Noncompliance will require retraining and evaluation. Seventh is review quality. The review section serves as guidelines for conducting the annual or periodic review. 1. Review of the product release procedure. 2. Review of product release records. 3. Understanding of personnel responsible for release, quarantine, and hold of product release procedures. And 4th, visual confirmation and follow-up on held or quarantined products. Next is reference documents. The reference documents are the set of documents used to implement and monitor a program, policy, or procedure. It includes finished product release monitoring form, the certificate of analysis, and the pathogen testing results. Ninth is references. The reference section is composed of guides utilized to implement the program. Examples are the certification guide, regulations, and other widely accepted scientific journals, research, and the like. It must comply with the standard format citation, which can be based on either MLA, APA, or Chicago style, and update the access date. Lastly, history. The history section is where we can update the program if there are any changes or revisions made in the document. If there is a revision, enter the revision number, followed by the revision date, the description of the change made, the name of the author or the originator, and the title or department of the author or the originator. Thank you for participating in this document review. Content presented are for training purposes only and are based on the interpretation of standards and best practices and must be customized for your intended use. To fully customize your programs, policies, procedures, forms for records, and lessons for training, you may contact Interlink IQ or Consultier Inc. at services@interlinkiq.com or simply call 202-982-3002. For free access, visit interlinkiq.com.